Welcome to the EdExpert podcast. Today we're launching straight into a deep dive. We're focusing entirely on, well, a really critical and immediate opportunity for businesses right here in Los Angeles. We're zeroing in on those high-intent customers, the ones searching while they're actually out and about, and specifically how to really master optimization for voice search and those ubiquitous near-me queries.
Yeah, the challenge in LA is pretty unique. It's different. What we're looking at today is based on insights from analysis by Sam Ashrafi and also drawing on EdExpert's experience. I mean, they've spent over a decade right here navigating LA's hyper-competitive digital marketing scene.
Right, and there's often a huge gap between generic SEO advice and what actually moves the needle when you're dealing with, say, LA traffic patterns or neighborhood specific. So our mission today, it's simple. Cut through that noise. We want to give you the surgical, critical knowledge you absolutely need to stay visible, to stay competitive out there. Okay, let's unpack this.
So the first big thing is this trend. It's global, sure, but it feels amplified here in LA. People are moving away from, planning searches on their desktops. They're relying much more heavily on mobile tools, Siri, Google Assistant, Alexa for immediate, often transactional answers.
Yeah.
And this behavior, it's what's driving this massive astronomical rise in near-me searches.
Exactly. And look, for this audience, we don't need to explain what high intent means, but we really need to underscore its algorithmic value. A query like, where's a tire repair shop open now near me? That isn't just browsing. That's someone likely stuck, wallet out, ready to solve a problem now. Search engines, and especially voice assistants, they're engineered to serve the fastest, most geographically relevant result because, well, failure means they lose that transaction entirely.
Precisely. And that local intent gets magnified in a city as, frankly, sprawling and fragmented as Los Angeles. You have to think about the specific context. Maybe someone in a downtown LA high-rise needing a notary right now, or a tourist wandering around West Hollywood looking for the closest, say, specialty vegan cafe. These users are physically locked to their location, and their time is incredibly constrained, often just by traffic alone. If your optimization doesn't account for these little micro moments of urgency, you basically become invisible.
So it's way beyond just being on Google Maps. It's about convincing Google's, pretty sophisticated algorithms, which increasingly favor local results, that you are the absolute best, most immediate answer for that person standing in that specific spot. Getting this level of optimization right, that's the difference between capturing that customer in Silver Lake or, well, losing them to the competitor just down the block. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. This deep dive isn't about basic theory. It's about tactical execution. How do you actually do this? Based on the source analysis we looked at, there are 5 essential pillars, 5 things LA businesses absolutely must implement now to capture this voice and mobile traffic effectively.
Right. Let's start with pillar 1, the foundation really, advanced local SEO. Look, in a high-density, multi-neighborhood city like LA, just having a basic Google My Business profile, that's not going to cut it. You need to optimize your GMB, especially for service area business settings that applies. Clearly define all the neighborhoods you serve, maybe from Santa Monica clear over to Pasadena, not just your single physical street address.
Yeah, that's crucial. And the consistency of NFP name, address, phone number, that needs to be ironclad. Absolutely consistent everywhere. Because Google uses that cross-directory verification to build trust, right? And trust is key for ranking high in that competitive local pack, the map results. But here's an LA-specific challenge I see. Location naming. Do people search for West Hollywood or WeHo? You actually need to weave those hyperlocal keywords into your content, reflecting how residents really talk about their neighborhood. You got to capture both the formal search and, the local slang.
Exactly. Which leads nicely into pillar 2, using conversational language. Think about it. Voice queries are often like 4 times longer than typed ones. People speak in full sentences, so you're not optimizing for just LA plumber.
Yeah.
That's too broad. You have to structure your content to anticipate natural human questions. We really recommend building out comprehensive FAQ pages. Use conversational headers like, how much did plumbing repair cost in downtown LA? That directly targets the long-tail intent and the question format voice assistants prefer.
Mm-hmm. And that also involves understanding the intent behind the voice query. Is it informational or transactional? Someone asking, tell me about West Hollywood. Well, that's just research. But someone asking, what time does the closest bookstore close today? That's transactional. They want to do something. Your content needs to be structured to satisfy that immediate action they're asking for.
And that connects directly to pillar 3, leveraging schema markup, but strategically. For a savvy audience like ours, schema isn't just structured data in theory. It's about giving the search engine's AI essentially a pre-parsed organized file cabinet so it can grab answers instantly.
Yes. Crucially, schema markup is the gateway. It's how you get into those featured snippets and knowledge panels at the top of results. Voice assistants, your Cirrus, your Alexis, they pull answers predominantly from these sources. Why? Because they need super high confidence and basically zero delay. So if you're not deploying specific schema types like organization, local business, and especially things like Q&A or how-to schema, you're essentially blocking yourself from what, maybe 90% of potential voice search answers. You have to make your key data hours, prices, availability instantly machine readable.
Okay, Pillar 4 shifts focus to the platform itself, optimized strictly for mobile speed. In LA, maybe more than anywhere, speed really matters. You've got variable self-service, people constantly moving, and voice search. It's almost exclusively done on mobile devices. So if your site doesn't load practically instantly, that user may be stuck in traffic on the 405 or walking quickly down a street, they'll just bounce before your logo even appears.
hmm The sources we looked at really hammer this home. Core Web Vitals, CWV, are absolutely non-negotiable for the LA user. We're talking sub-second loading times. Seriously fast. And beyond just speed, the actual user experience on mobile has to be flawless. Think large tap targets, easy single-hand use, instant click-to-call or click for directions buttons. If someone has to pinch and zoom or fumble with a tiny link while they're driving or walking around Silver Lake, you've already failed the mobile usability test.
Right, and that brings us to the final one, Pillar 5. Provide direct, location-specific answers. This really ties everything back to that high-intent nature of the Near Me search. Your website shouldn't just vaguely talk about your services. It needs to state very specifically where they're available and when.
Exactly. So, for instance, instead of just one general services page, you might need landing pages tailored to specific LA micro markets, something like emergency plumbers serving downtown LA or 24-hour gyms near Silver Lake. That level of content specificity helps the search engine perform really precise geographic matching, and that significantly boosts your relevance in that immediate near-me search context.
Yeah. And, if we connect all this back to the bigger picture, mastering these 5 pillars isn't a one-time fix. It requires continuous monitoring, continuous adaptation, especially in a market like Los Angeles. I mean, it's fiercely competitive. You have established brands clashing with new super local services popping up all the time. So consistent data-driven optimization, that's really the only difference between getting discovered by that high-intent customer or just being completely overlooked.
Absolutely. That need for advanced localization, it essentially trains search engines to associate your business with specific geographic areas. That ensures you show up in local results, dominate on Google Maps for those relevant queries. But let's be honest, managing the complexity of, say, updating schema constantly, monitoring NAP consistency across potentially hundreds of directories, analyzing all that mobile user data that can easily overwhelm an internal team.
That's often where specialized expertise becomes, well, necessary. The sources we reviewed highlight the value of having an LA-based data partner, like AdExpert, for example, someone who intrinsically understands the unique competitive landscape here. Their methodology, it relies heavily on leveraging past client data, deep competitor analysis, all specifically optimized for the nuances of the LA market. Things like understanding seasonal trends for beach city services versus, say, inland valley businesses. It's different.
Right, so they're not just guessing, they're using advanced tools. The analysis mentioned things like live tracking, robust analytics platform, giving real-time visibility into how campaigns are performing across every channel, which allows for immediate data-driven decisions to stay ahead of Google's algorithm changes, right?
Exactly. And we're seeing more and more reliance on AI across the field. The sources note this kind of forward-thinking expertise includes leveraging AI, maybe for creating more personalized campaigns, running advanced analytics, using optimization tools, basically ensuring clients keep that vital competitive edge.
Okay, so let's boil this down. What does this all mean for your strategy listening right now? The critical knowledge from this deep dive really confirms it. Prioritizing that conversational language we talked about, Pillar 2. Deploying structured data effectively via schema markup, Pillar 3. And ensuring absolutely impeccable mobile performance and speed, Pillar 4. These are the non-negotiable requirements. Especially for LA businesses trying to capture customers who are ready to engage right now, it's really a game of speed and hyper-relevance.
It is. And looking ahead, the role of structured data, like schema, it's only going to increase. Think about it. Voice assistants lean so heavily on pulling direct answers from highly structured data, those featured snippets you create using schema. And at the same time, experts are aggressively leveraging AI now to analyze user intent and optimize content specifically for these instant answers. So here's something to mull over. How will this rapid integration of AI directly into search fundamentally change the way we even ask questions and get answers? Could it potentially make traditional long-tail keyword research, as we know it, kind of obsolete, replaced instead by highly optimized, maybe even algorithmically generated content designed purely to populate those knowledge panels? That's definitely something to think about as you audit your own digital visibility here in Los Angeles.
That is definitely food for thought. The algorithm is learning to talk back to us, and I guess we have to get much better at speaking its language. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive into optimizing for LA's mobile users. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope this knowledge empowers you to boost your visibility and stay competitive in what's undeniably one of the world's toughest digital markets. Until next time.